Hi again, this is again Dr. Rainey here. I'm going to show you this is the part B or part 2 of gas concepts experiment, which is experiment 11. So the apparatus which I was talking about is called as ediometer. You see, this is called as ediometer. It has a closed end at one end and it's open on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take first, I already measured the magnesium, and I also already, as I told you, I already use a copper wire to cage the magnesium. See, this is how you have to cage it. See, it's caged so it won't escape during the reaction. And then it is passed through this is called as a single hole stopper. So it passed through this, and I'm going to use this to used in this experiment. So now let's see. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take 10 ml of hydrochloric acid. So this is, I'm using a 10 ml graduated cylinder, and I'm going to use 10 ml of hydrochloric acid. So say I'm going to take 10 ml. And then it's a 10 ml hydrochloric acid. I'm going to pour the hydrochloric acid into ediometer first. Slightly tilt it and slowly pour 10 ml of hydrochloric acid, 3 molar. Okay, and then now you top this with water. So if you have any drippings, you just clean it. Okay, then now I'm going to slowly try to not to avoid mixing, but slowly try to pour water. All the way to the top. And make sure there is no air bubbles, because that will interfere the pressure of hydrogen. So now what do? You push this caged magnesium along with the copper wire through this single, and make sure there is no air bubbles anywhere. And then you have to make sure that this container is completely filled with water, so that there is no air anywhere. If there might be a little bit spill of water around, so you just have to clean it. Okay, and now we make sure that there is no air bubbles. You see, there is no air bubbles. The water is till the top. So make sure. Then now what you stop this opening here and tilt it. And make sure that you're using a beaker. And say I'm going to use a beaker. I'm going to show you. So here you tilt it slowly. And now place this end in the water. Don't release it until it's inside the water. And then you clamp this. Make sure that's inside the water. And you clamp it. So now you see, there is no air bubbles anywhere. So now there is no bubbles coming out. So, but you're going to see okay, you see now, when the reaction starts, you can see I'm going to show you very close up how this reaction, when the bubbles are coming. So if you see the bubbles starting coming here, can you see the bubbles? I'm going to bring it to very close. See, the reaction is happening now. So can you see bubbles coming out? See, that's the reaction is happening now. So when the acid is heavier, so when the acid came down, and when it touched the metal magnesium, the reaction has started. And now you see magnesium is reacting with acid, and you see the bubbles coming out, and that bubbles is the hydrogen gas. And now where it is getting accumulated, you see it's going to accumulate at the top here, at the top. So when they see how the hydrogens are coming, so I'm going to show, let's see the reaction happening. So I'm going to go a little bit further to make it to be more clear. See the reaction happening, you see the bubbles coming, and you see what's happening to the top here. So you see the top, what's happening? They see there's a gap. There's a gap here, you see? There's a small gap. And that gap is the amount of hydrogen gas is getting accumulated. And you see what's happening, when hydrogen gas is taking the space, the water is getting pushed out. So that's what you see, the reaction is happening now. So we are collecting hydrogen gas on the top. And now, so I'm again in the lab part, in the data part, I already gave you what is the partial pressure of water inside and what is the total pressure of the atmospheric pressure and how do you calculate. Everything is there. You just have to do the calculations. If anything, calculate the percentage error. So here, see the reaction happening. So that's how the reaction, and this reaction will happen till all the metal is consumed and the hydrogen gas is produced. And once the reaction is finished, all the metal is consumed, the reaction stops, and you're going to see the height of you have to measure the height of that column of that hydrogen gas here. That's your V1, and you plug that V1 in the actual experiment. And then you can calculate the percentage error also. So this is just, the experiment is just to prove use some of the gas loss and see how we can calculate the amount of gas released during certain type of reactions and how to comply with the molar volume. So I think, so this is the experiment. So once the reaction is finished, you will see this height of the volume will increase and the water level goes down. So you see the bubbles coming out, that's the hydrogen gases forming. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this experiment, and you can finish off all the calculations. Thank you for watching again, and this is Dr. Raina here. You all have a good, happy evening. Bye.